Alright guys, welcome back, and so you guys might recall that Monotype tournament I'm doing on my Pokemon Go Discord server. So the round robin portion is now complete, and because I came first in my division, I'm able to actually pick my opponent in the first part of the single elimination part of this tournament, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick a guy called IVpips, and you might recall who he is. He was actually in the last tournament I did on this Pokemon Go Discord. We fought 3 times in a row because it was a double elim. It was a really epic match. He's a really actually fantastic battler. And I pick him for 2 reasons. One, because he's grass and I'm bug. So, like I said, I could pick my opponent from the other division in the first round of this because I won my division. So, yeah, obviously I'm going to want to pick something that I feel like bugs match up well against. But more than that, I really kind of wanted to battle him. And he seemed pretty darn confident. He had a way to maybe, beat bugs. If we never did battle in this tournament, we were going to do a, an exhibition match. So to speak, after the tournament was done. So the fact that I am going to get to battle him, though, should be pretty interesting. Like I said, we have the type advantage, and there's a few things that he could really do that put him, give him a real chance at this. And indeed, the one real thing that he can really do against bugs is he needs to set up Trick Room. And as you can see, he's bringing a very interesting team. He's bringing 2 ghost types and multiple Trick Roomers that will hopefully swing the battle, and he's hoping to swing the battle in his favor. Now, I kind of knew Trick Room was an option here. I knew that he would use the gimmick in the past in this league, so yeah, just kind of hoping that I can play around it. Now, I don't really have anything. In fact, here's my game plan. Number 1, don't let him set up the Trick Room. Game plan, and number 2, if he does set up the Trick Room, try to limit it with, Protect and things of that nature. So anyway, he's going to go ahead and leave with Ferrothorn against my Fortress, and I know he's going to set up Stealth Rocks. And I'm figuring, you know what, this thing is probably, going to be really annoying to Rapid Spin against, so I'm just going to go straight into Volcarona. And that's going to make him sack something to me. And in comes the Whimsicott, which I was so happy about that, because this is a prankster, thing that I can't stop from setting up a Trick Room if he wants to go for it. Or Grass Whistle or whatever. And he was predicting Quiver Dance, not for me to go right for the Fiery Dance, and that's going to be able to take it out, which is super awesome for me. Now, I'm going to go for another Fiery Dance here. I don't want him to set up the Trick Room. Unfortunately, even though I had about a 62% chance to kill this guy, he's going to be able to live and set up a Trick Room, which isn't really great. And I do have the Focus Sash, though, so I know I can at least live 1 hit. I decided to go for the Roost to see what this, Gourgeist can do to me. He ends up having Rock Slide, though. He dies to his Life Orb, so that's okay. And I'm going to be able to Roost back to, full. Or not full, half. But, yeah, that really does kind of suck. And, yeah, he's going to go out into this guy, the Alolan Executor, which is kind of like the centerpiece of his team, his main Trick Room abuser. And, yeah, he's just going to go for the Ancient Power to take me out. I knew that he would probably take me out, but looking at my team, I really don't have anything that can, take a hit from this thing. So, in goes my Yanmega. And I have Protect, so, like I said, I'm going to try to Protect stall a little bit. And he's going to go ahead and pop up the Devastating Drake. So, yeah, at the time, I had no idea if I was going to live this or not. Obviously, it's going to be at half damage, I believe, because it's a, it's hitting through Protect. So, he goes for it, and, what ends up happening is he leaves me at 1 HP. And looking at, a calc, he actually only had a very slim chance to be able to KO me. So, it was actually kind of a close to max roll, so, I'm like, okay, well, can I get a second Protect at least? And I don't. And that sucks. Because I knew that the Trick Room was wearing off that turn. First of all, he got the, 40% live with his freaking Gourgeist. Then he got nearly full damage there. And, I just wanted that second Protect. 50-50 shot. And if I would have been able to get that, then obviously I actually had the Flying EMZ on my Yanmega. Just obliterate that Executor or whatever it goes into. So, in comes my Pinsir. And, yeah, this was a major mistake in, warm-up. So I go for the return, and I do no damage. So, yeah, this Pinsir doesn't love me. And I probably never noticed because, I didn't actually, gen a new one. This is my close combat Pinsir, and I usually prefer the Earthquake one, so I guess it just never came up because that does no damage, and I have to really fix that. And this is actually problematic because I was really counting on Mega Pinsir to be an absolute beatstick against him, and now apparently my strongest move is going to do next to no damage. So I'm like, screw it, I'm just going to close combat to get some damage. And at this point I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch out. He still has the Stealth Rocks up, but I can defog with the Scizor. I brought a Choice Banded Scizor with, defog, because I wanted 2 ways to get rid of the Stealth Rocks. I knew that he was probably going to try to abuse hazards against me. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and go for that defog. He goes for the Leech Seed, that's fine with me. I'm going to have to switch out anyway, I'm locked into defog. So I'm like, all right, my pincer is messed up. My one chance here is to maybe get the Heracross sweep buff. So I had good momentum early. Now he's starting to take momentum back, and I have to hope that Heracross can bail me out here. So he is going to go ahead and set up those Stealth Rocks again. He doesn't want to let Mega Pincer back in. That's fine. I predicted him to do that. And here was the play of the match for me. I was faced with the decision to close combat or to Mega Horn, and I decided, you know what? Let's go ahead and Mega Horn. I know it's not going to kill the Ferrothorn if he stays in, but I think he's going to go out into his, remaining Ghost type, his Delmise, and indeed he does. I'm able to get the 2-hit KO, and I get the Moxie boost, which is huge. And now he's going to go into his Mega Sceptile. He's hoping I'm not Scarfed, but let's face it, I'm certainly Scarfed. There's no way I have any other item on me. He was just kind of hoping at this point. Get the Mega Horn off on this thing, and that thing just gets taken out. It just kind of gets obliterated. So, at this point, I'm like, okay, +2 attack. I should be able to steamroll the rest of his team. So in comes Ferrothorn, and I'm like, I just don't miss, and then I miss. So, yeah. He actually made somewhat of a mistake here. He probably should have went for Gyro. Actually, no, this is probably the right play, going for Leech Seeds. Hoping, in the case of a miss. Because now he can actually protect me, protect here. And if I get another miss, he'd be in a good position after a Gyro Ball to potentially take me out. Just by protect stalling. And I'm like, it's against my religion to switch out a +2 Scarfed Heracross. But you know what? I think I can actually confirm the win here by going to Scizor. So in comes Scizor. And like I said, I think I'm just going to win straight. I think I have a plan. He's going to go ahead and Gyro Ball. I knew that was probably coming. Doesn't do that much to me. And I'm just going to go click U-turn. Because in my mind, this clinches the match. If he goes into Executor, which he does, I just kill it. And then I'm able to go right back into my Heracross and close combat the Fortress. If he stays in with Fortress, I get the pretty good U-turn damage there on the Fortress. I go straight into my Mega Pincer as Death Fodder, then go into Heracross and lock myself into close combat, which would have clinched the win for me as well, because at that point, he either sacks his Ferrothorn and I get +1, or obviously he goes into Executor and he gets 2-hit KO'd by close combat. And by some miracle, if his Executor is able to live a +1 close combat, I still have, I still have my Scizor to Bullet Punch. So I felt like I made the right play there. Usually not the right play to switch out a +2 Scarf Scizor, but played a pretty good game there at the end and in the beginning. That Mega Pincer was almost a disaster. You know what I'm actually gonna do? I'm just gonna stuff its mouth with freaking like bitter healing items, and I'm just gonna give it frustration because that made me real frustrated. So anyway, today's question of the day is, what's your favorite Trick Room abuser in Pokemon? Now, not everyone obviously has dabbled in Trick Room, I'm sure, but I guess, if you haven't, just name a Pokemon you think would be really good in the Trick Room. Obviously, my opponent is a big fan of Alolan Executor, a Pokemon I'm not really a huge fan of, but definitely shines in the Trick Room. As for me, I typically don't go with Trick Room teams. I tend to find them a little gimmicky, but they can obviously be very good because you can put bulk on your Pokemon, and that's often allows them to live hits, and then, the gimmick allows you to also pretty much negate your opponent's speed stat. The one Pokemon I have liked using it in the past is Hoopa Unbound, which has a pretty, it doesn't have a terrible speed stat, but with a minus speed nature can definitely make use of it, even if it's the only Pokemon on your team that really is designed to use it. And in fact, I think I've used a Hoopa Unbound with Trick Room before on Wi-Fi, because it allows it to move first and pretty much kill a lot of things that would otherwise threaten it. So leave a comment about that, and see you guys again next time. Later!